Welcome to YWCA Central Alabama's 22nd Purse and Passion event, The Virtual Experience, Part 2. For 22 years, Purse and Passion attendees, corporate sponsors, and our families and foundations have fueled the YW services through their financial support. Since that very first Purse and Passion luncheon, this event has raised millions to help women, children, and families in crisis. YWCA Central Alabama has been a part of the Birmingham community for over 118 years, and our staff will continue to get up each day to work towards eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, freedom, justice, and dignity for all. We would like to thank our two Purse and Passion title sponsors, Harbert Management Corporation and Medical Properties Trust, for their support. And now we take you live to the YW Chapel with YW CEO Dr. LaRonda McGross and our new board chair, Andrea McCaskey.
Welcome to the 22nd Purse and Passion and second virtual Purse and Passion. We are so glad that you have joined us today from wherever you are, whether it's at home, hosting family and friends, maybe it's at work with a few colleagues, or it's in your car. So wherever you are, we're so glad that you joined us this afternoon. I am Dr. LaRonda McGross, CEO of YWCA Central Alabama, and I am just thrilled to be here today with my partner in crime, our new board president, Andrea McCaskey.
Thank you so much, LaRonda. I am indeed honored to be the board chair at the YW, and I am excited to be sitting in my orange chair with you today. The work that we do at the YW and the funds that you raise today go to the crucial work of eliminating racism and empowering women. Now, a quick note about our technology on the event today. You can donate as you're watching. You can give directly through the Swell page. You can also text YWCA to 474747 to give. Or if you're helping a table captain, you can support them by making sure you click on their name. And if you forgot their name, just pick my name, Andrea McCaskey, underneath the support a table section. You know that competition is really fierce among these table captains, and I know they'll want your donation to go to them, but if not, just send it to me. If you're attending a host at home event, then feel free to give a check to your table captain and they'll get it to us.
That's right. And we want to take a moment to recognize our phenomenal Purse and Passion co-chairs and our sponsors. Dana Cockrell, Tammy Fincher, and Holly Stiles, we could not have done this without you. A huge thanks to you and everyone on your committees for the incredible work that you all did this year. And to our table captain committee, the driving force behind this event, you all make sure that people hear the mission of the YW, and we could not do this without you. Thank you, co-chairs Amy Allen and Renee Ramsey. And to our development committee co-chairs Erin Stevenson, Jenny Sneed, and Pam Cook, who were tireless in their pursuit of raising money to fuel our work. This event would not be possible without our incredible sponsors. Our two title sponsors, Medical Properties Trust and Harbert Management Corporation, Alabama Power Foundation, P&C, McKinney Capital, Protective Life, Regions, Alltech, the Thomas E. Jernigan Foundation, Motion, Orr Construction, Vulcan Materials Company, Balch and Bingham, White Arnold and Dowd, Renaissance Bank, Warren Averett, Brassfield and Gorey, the Caring Foundation of Blue Cross Blue Shield, EBSCO, and the Baptist Health Systems. And one big shout out to thank all of our board of directors. The time, talent, and treasure that you all commit to the YWCA is impossible to capture. And we could not do the work that we do without you. You are our biggest supporters, and we are so grateful to you. We also want to take a moment to recognize two very special board members whom we lost over the past year, Dot Mueller and Debbie White. Debbie White was a longtime YW supporter as well as a charter table captain for Purse and Passion. She began her work very enthusiastically at the inaugural Person Passion event in 1999, and continued serving as a table captain for the next 21 years. Debbie was elected to the YW Board of Directors in 2014 and served in her role passionately. Dot Mueller. Dot loved the YW. Whether she was serving as a table captain, a volunteer, a supporter, board member, or even as an employee, Dot's support for the YW never ceased and spanned over 30 years. In 2016, she was the recipient of the Jenna P. Hush Women of Valor Award, honoring her passion and commitment to the YW mission. Dot and Debbie were passionate about the YW. They gave of their time and their talents to this organization for decades, and we are so grateful for their support, and it will live on. And we are grateful to all of you who are sitting at their virtual memorial table today. Today you'll hear from staff, donors, and families who have all been impacted by YW services. You'll hear how we rose to meet the moment to ensure that there were no gaps in services. That even though we had to pivot programs, events, and in some cases modify our services, we knew that providing services was what we must do. Because the work of the YW makes a difference, and we would not let anyone fall through the cracks of a pandemic. You will now hear from a few of our program directors to see just how much heart and passion goes into, and a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into making the YW the best YW each day.
YWCA's economic empowerment serves the community in various ways. I get the opportunity to be involved with the AmeriCorps program, which is national service on a community level. Also my Sister's Closet, which is our resale boutique, which is absolutely amazing. And then we have our Y Woodlawn Family Resource Center, which serves the Woodlawn community and beyond, and our newest phase of it, which is EE, which is Economic Empowerment Workforce Development. So it's really focused on job readiness, career readiness, entrepreneurship, and things that we need right now in the community. I would say the memory that stands out most in the last year was seeing the resurgence of our Family Resource Center. Woodlawn has depended on Family Resource Center for so many years. And with it not being open and not being a hub for the community, really had some families not receiving the support that they needed. So to see that team back and to see us be able to serve safely and still meet those needs, I think are the two most important things that have happened over the last year. I think about my Sister's Closet and how we have been able to come up with policy, come up with protocol, still meet the needs of agencies, doing it differently, but the service stopped for a while and it's back. And so what that means to me is that a woman who is surviving domestic violence or might have escaped whatever has brought her to our doors. Or a woman like me who loves to shop there and wants to get bargains for $5 or $10 now has that trusted community resource that's there, and it's COVID safe and it's done differently, but it's still being done because there are women who need us to be there. A lot of people recognize us for housing, for domestic violence services, and for child development, and that is amazing, but we're so much more than that.
The YWCA Child Development Center services the community in local downtown Birmingham, where we serve families who are from YW shelter, from local shelters in our area, and families who live downtown, as well as greater Birmingham. COVID has had a huge effect on our program, financially, emotionally, physically. It's really difficult when you're working with young children because sometimes some of the things that we emphasize as really important are things that we have to back off on. Before COVID, our classes got to go on the playground together. Our teachers got to have really close face-to-face interactions where the kids could see their faces without masks on. Our classes, we could group them together in the mornings and the evenings when our numbers were low, and that's not something that we're doing now. We've really changed the way that our program operates to keep families safe, and we've been super grateful that people have done a wonderful job of providing like PPE and supplies for PPE. What's been harder is making sure that our staffing stays safe and stays separate, because that's not how we operated before. We know that we're making a difference, and that's why we're going to continue doing what we do. It's been a really hard year for our families. It's been a really hard year for our teachers, and I think I'm so grateful for everyone who has really pushed to keep bringing their children to school, even though they're afraid, because it's pushing them forward, and they're able to do the things they need to do to be able to be good parents, to set their children up for success. And our teachers have just bent over backwards. And it's hard for me to say how grateful I am to our teachers, because what they are doing is hard, and they are showing up every day. And teachers don't make much money, but they do a lot of work. It's hard for me to express how grateful I am to them.
We're the only domestic violence service provider in our 3-county service area: Jefferson, St. Clair, and Blount County. In terms of how crucial our services are, we are the go-to agency for those services in our 3-county service area. The Domestic Violence Services Program services our community 24/7 for victims and survivors of domestic violence. First and foremost, we have a 24/7 crisis line that can be reached at 205-322-4878. In addition to our 24-hour crisis line, we have a 24-hour domestic violence shelter for individuals who are fleeing domestic violence. We also provide legal assistance in the community and assist victims and survivors with obtaining protection orders from abuse, divorces, issues pertaining to child custody and child support. We have advocates and case managers that assist victims and survivors at every step along the way of their journey to living a life free from violence. The YWCA Domestic Violence Services staff has been phenomenal during COVID. Because our 24/7 services couldn't stop because of how vital they are to our community. The staff has been phenomenal in making sure that the shelter services are offered. The shelter is open, our crisis line remains operational. When court went virtual, our attorneys were ready to go for hearings. So the staff has been phenomenal in still providing the vital life-saving services that we provide to victims and survivors in our community.
The community housing program serves the community by providing quality, affordable housing to single women with children, domestic violence survivors, and we also are able to provide our residents with supportive services and resources that allow us to partner with them. I think oftentimes when people think about affordable housing, in their mind, they think it lacks amenities. What we provide at the YW in our affordable housing, our supportive housing, is the same amenities, the same qualities that you would find in housing that would not be considered affordable. COVID-19 has drastically affected our program. The way we do our day-to-day operations, how we provide services, how long it takes us to provide those services. But more importantly, it has affected our residents and their lives in all aspects. Many of our residents have contracted COVID. They've lost family members due to COVID. They've lost jobs. They've lost wages, child care. So our residents have been impacted, their lives have been impacted emotionally, financially, and mentally. We were able to provide our senior residents at our Rosedale community with COVID-19 kits through a donation that the YW received. Those kits included hand sanitizers, wipes, disposable masks, many of those things that were very difficult for our residents, our senior residents, to obtain at that time. So we delivered those kits to our residents, and one particular resident was overcome with emotion. She was so thankful that we were delivering those things that she really needed, but more so, she was thankful that the YW had not forgotten her.
I am always so amazed by the incredible staff at the YW and the passion they bring to their jobs. In fact, my sister's closet and the wonderful women there helped to dress me today, so thank you, ladies. This staff has really doubled down during the pandemic. They've rolled up their sleeves and done everything that it took to make sure that the families and the women who need our services get those services.
You know, that's right. And we, during this time, took the opportunity to not just provide our services, but to really take a deeper look at how we could provide stronger and more impactful programs and services. And one of those ways is we created or introduced a new service delivery model, or what we call a supportive services model. And it is a way of serving our clients in a more comprehensive way. We've kind of shifted our idea of what a client success means and have supported our clients through facilitating their healing and self-sufficiency by removing some of those barriers that may exist. We, through our supportive services model, create an environment that is conducive to success and that it is steeped in trauma-informed practices. So instead of asking the question of what's wrong with you, we ask the question, what happened to you?
I love that.
And you know, that is a way that we show our dignity and respect for the people that we serve.
And that's why today's fundraising is so crucial. So don't forget, you can text YWCA to 474747 to give. You can also make your donations, and that will make sure that we support the programs of the YWCA, our affordable housing, our child care center, our domestic violence services. But it also helps to ensure that we can be advocates in our community and that we aren't just running programs, we're speaking out and supporting where people need us the most.
You know, people generally know us for our core programs. What they may not know is that we do advocate. We advocate on the Hill, we advocate at the state and local level to make sure that policies and legislation support the people that we serve, and if they don't, we are against those, and we make that known as well. But we also provide workforce development, you know, to help people who are entering or re-entering the workforce. And sometimes we just stand side by side with someone who just needs our support, and see how in this next video.
Megan was an accomplished young woman. She had a master's degree. She was a volunteer at the Humane Society. She loved to save animals. Her two cats were her children. She was a kind and compassionate young woman, very passionate about saving animals. She was a fitness buff, Iron Tribe girl, strong-willed, determined, confident. And then she met somebody on a date, and that changed. Her life changed forever. Our eyes have been opened about the unbelievable problem of domestic violence, and the problem is nobody's listening. And that's how Megan felt. Nobody was listening to her other than us, her family. She had never been with violent people. She was not raised with violent people. Evil exists in the world, and we know that now. And what I like to say is, in domestic violence situations, evil is dressed as Prince Charming. When she left, she wrote on Instagram, I've got the post, she said, I want to help other young women avoid what I've been through. I want to give them the warning signs and let them know, help them with the legal system and help them to get out before it's too late. And so nobody was listening, nobody listens, except the YWCA listened, because she came to some domestic violence support groups a few times, and when she left that day, she felt heard and listened to. She felt validated. And so that, along with a lot of other things that, that she got help with throughout the process, gave her the courage to leave. You have to overcome evil with good. You can't let evil prevail. And so that's why we're doing the Megan Montgomery Domestic Violence Prevention Fund. We won't let evil prevail. Good will overcome evil. Megan will be victorious in all of this. And she already is, actually.
Well, what a powerful video. We're so grateful to Suzanne for sharing her and Megan's story. We're here now with Philippe Lathrop and our CEO, Dr. LaRonda McGrath, to talk a little about how men can be engaged in the mission of the YWCA. Philippe is actually one of our first and only table captains, and you've been involved since 1998.
I was wondering. I forgot how long it's been. But yeah.
Yes, thank you for being here. And
glad to be here.
Yeah, and LaRonda, we've talked a lot in the past year, and I know in particular it's been important to you to get men engaged in the mission of the YW. Can you talk a little about why that's been part of what you've been wanting to do here?
Well, I first of all, thank you for being here, Philippe. So excited. I, believe that men play a critical role in issues that impact women, whether that is gender wage disparities or violence against women. According to an Alabama 2017 crime report, 80% of the domestic violence victims identified as women, and 76% of the perpetrators identified as male. So men are not passive participants in this. Men have the ability to change policies, to change systems that discriminate against women. Men have the ability to call out that locker room talk, when they hear it, the objectification of women. They have the ability to end that, and you do that by standing up. And standing up and showing up for women. So it's a partnership. We want men to step up, to lead where they can lead, to help change systems, because when we support women, we support entire communities.
Yeah, and what you just said about those statistics and what we heard in Megan's story as well, we know that this isn't just a woman's issue, this is a man's issue to take on and to take charge of. And Philippe, I know that's something that you've been a great ally in the past, and your wife and you also helped to start a lot of the domestic violence services that we have here at the YWCA. So what do you think, what should we be teaching our young boys and men about how to be allies to women? What's the most important way we can speak to young men?
So that's a pretty tough question, but I think LaRonda mentioned it in the locker room talk. In sports, I think taking young men in elementary school, high school through the YW to see the nursery, to see, actually bring them to a person passion and see how you guys have helped women in the direst of needs get back on their feet. I think those are very powerful tools to be used to take it to the schools.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we do a lot of educational work as well with our domestic violence services. And I think, like you said, bringing people in to see the work that we're doing every day is really important. You've actually been, like we've already said, a great ally to the organization, but we're excited to be honoring you on May 12th at our newest event.
I had no clue. I don't seek recognition. I just like to do the right thing.
Well, we know you don't, but we're glad to be able to. So we have a new event called YW Allies on May 12th at Avondale Brewing Company, where we'll get to honor you alongside 9 other incredible men from the community. But will you talk to us a little about your journey to the YWCA, how you got here, why it was important to you?
Well, my journey, really, if you go way back, dates back to I was born here and during the civil rights strife, and witnessed some of that at a young age. Fortunately, I had parents who were on the right side and explained things, but I just couldn't understand what was going on or the hatred. And my mother was European. She's from Paris, so hence Philippe. So she was very liberal on especially women's issues. She was into Emily's List. She wanted more women politicians when there were none. I mean, so that's some of the backdrop. And then my wife, Judy Crittenden, who was one of the founders of the Domestic Violence Center, introduced me to the YW. I may have come to a luncheon with her. Suzanne Durham was a good friend, Brenda Hackney, so I learned about the Y, and saw the nursery, saw firsthand what you guys did. And at that first meeting of the luncheon, I thought, there are no men. So I told Suzanne, I'm gonna break the glass ceiling and I'm gonna be a table captain, and I'm gonna try to get men to join.
Good for
and
you.
So,
Yes.
22 years, good grief, I had no idea. So that's pretty much my journey. And then professionally, I just saw inequities. I saw women being passed over. I mean, people like me, young age, were promoted ahead of women who were there longer. So I just grew up in an interesting time and was moved by all these things I witnessed.
Lily, what are some of the inequities that you have witnessed now? And we talked about civil rights a little bit, but
Well, there's a lot of inequities with women, and I'm in the financial planning industry, and most of my women are clients. and I just see women are behind the 8 ball when it comes to saving money over their careers versus men. I mean, one, they earn less, obviously. 2, they're out of the workforce more because they take time out to have children. It's called the mommy penalty. Then they take time to take care of their parents. Usually it's the daughters who take care of the parents. So there's these gaps in wage income that counts against Social Security. So they save less over time than men, and they're going to live longer than us. So that's some of the big inequities I see right now, other than the obvious ones that we've talked about earlier.
it's incredible. You get hooked once you get into the YW.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all you need to do is come over here.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, and as long as we have people like you who keep standing up and speaking out, our work will be able to even grow. So thank you for that. And so LaRonda, we talk a lot about at the YW the intersection between social and racial equity. Will you talk a little more about the intersection of the two and plans that you got for the YW this year and their social justice work?
You know, at the YW, we really are bold about our mission, right? We believe in it, that eliminating racism and empowering women. And we center our work at the intersection of race and gender, because you can't talk about race or gender and not talk about race. So some of the work that we plan to do is to have a heightened focus on gender and racial equity issues, and to really look at policies, to look at advocacy, webinars, trainings. Those are all the things that we plan to do in the coming year. And so it's really stepping into that space, and we've been doing this work, quite frankly, for years. And as an organization, we had to look at ourselves as I would say the whole YW network, all 200 of us, and we were different too, years ago. We weren't always this way 118 years. We have always, though, been at the forefront of social justice movements, and have also responded to emerging needs. And so what we're doing now is saying, hey, we have to be louder, we have to be bolder, and step into that space as leaders in this work, because we can do it.
Yeah, and I think I know that under your leadership and with allies like you, Philippe, and all the other men we're honoring on May 12th, we will be able to even more emboldened step into that space and make a difference in our community. So thank you both for the conversation, and we hope y'all are enjoying Person Passion. Don't forget to text to donate and support your team, and we will see you shortly.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Wow, 21 years of giving.
I know. When he told me that, we discovered it together. A couple of decades of giving. I mean, Philippe, we just love his passion. He believes in the YW, and we are going to celebrate allies like Philippe on May the 12th at Avondale Brewing Company. You know, ally, that word I say is a noun and a verb,
Absolutely,
right? Because
yes.
it means you have to act. There's some action that's required on your part. And so we will celebrate, and we want you to go to allies.swell.give to learn more about the YW Allies event.
All right, let's check on the social screen. Co-chairs, what we got going on over there?
We've got a lot going on. This number's gone up, but we would like to see it continue to increase. So if we could get this moving again, that would be great. There we go. Okay, thank you. But if we can also scroll down and look at who our top fundraisers are. Okay, we still have Maggie Brooks sitting in the top spot here.
All right, Maggie.
Hey, Maggie, please teach me your ways. Teach me your ways. Yes.
And then you can see we've got most social over here. Oh, Tammy. Oh, Dana's still ahead of you.
There I am. Oh, that's
Because
me.
she's been on her phone all morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to promote this function.
Right. Well, I mean, we're both here. We got a little ways to go,
Yes,
but we can get there.
We do.
But I think that we might be ahead of her in our table
Oh,
totals
hold
right
on.
now.
Wait a minute. Don't go there.
I'm pretty sure.
Tammy Fincher. Donate to Tammy Fincher.
Holly Stiles.
Hi, I'm Dana. Really? Hi. So we have a little competition, though. This isn't a competition, but it's a competition.
It's a competition. Yes,
So
this is a competition.
between the three of us, whoever raises the most money at our table we get this beautiful creation.
So she's bribing people with sugar.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So again, that's Cockrell, C-O-C-K-R-E-L-L.
And it's Styles with an I, S-T-I-L-E-S.
I'm the winner. I'll take it. I got it. I got it.
So I'm gonna go see if I can get some cake. Y'all keep donating.
Oh my gosh, they cracked me up. Please keep the donations coming. As you can see, the competition is fierce. Love them. I hope you all are enjoying yourselves. You can clearly see that we are enjoying ourselves here. Now we want to turn our attention to the Brown family. And let me just first say, I love this family. You know, COVID has been tough on whole families. And at the YW, we believe in serving entire families. Because when one member of that family is not feeling well, then there's an issue with the entire family. But when that one member heals, the entire family heals. CREW is a 7-week summer enrichment internship program for teens in 9th through 12th grades that started almost 10 years ago this coming summer. And the program is primarily designed to provide teens with fun, enriching, character-building activities, along with professional development. It is also a collaborating community effort that allows some YW partnering organizations to invest in today's youth through workforce development and training opportunities.
At first, I was a little skeptical, as you are with new things. And as time progressed, I just fell in love with the program. I fell in love with the people, everybody from the supervisors to my coworkers in general. And I got to the point where that last day I was sitting there in tears like, I gotta go. And I told myself, if I get the chance to come back, I'll come back.
Once he got started, I think maybe a week.
It's about a week. Yep.
Yeah, it was, hurry up, get up, I'm ready to go, I can't be late. You rush, we gotta get there. So
get
it
up,
was.
Iron my clothes.
Yes, iron a t-shirt. Who is this kid? Yes. I don't know who we're looking at. It was night and day.
One of the things that I often worry about in terms of raising boys is whether they will be productive. And a part of that being productive is being able to hold a job. And when I realized that they would get up on their own, they didn't need an alarm clock, they beat us up some mornings, then I knew as a parent, as a dad, that my children would at least be able to hold down a job that they liked. And so for me, that was the first bulb that went off and gave me a little comfort as a dad.
Although COVID forced a different way of doing CREW, it was all worth it because of the impact by refusing to give up, that the YW was able to provide this particular program for young people, for their families, and also the community at large.
A lot of people don't know it, but simple things like getting out of bed, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, making yourself not look like a zombie, being able to get that routine, especially when my sleep schedule's all off and everything's out of whack, it was just godsend. On top of that, being able to learn new skills and just adapt the way I think in general, it's always important, and especially when you've got nothing going on, you can just kind of absorb everything like a sponge. It's perfect. First off, interview skills. That was the big thing that was stressed. Interview skills, interview etiquette, how to be presentable, how to market yourself, how to network. All those things that aren't usually taught in schools, which is a shame. But to be able to learn that stuff and work with people at the same time, it's a great experience.
We often expect our children to be mini adults. We forget often that they need the nurturing that the CREW offers. And it gives people, particularly students, the opportunity to see what they could be and to experience the possibilities. I'm a dreamer by nature. And so I want our children to dream and dream big, dream of reinventing their neighborhoods, dream of reinventing their state, their country. And what the crew does is it serves as that foundation, because they never know who they're going to meet that will have a tremendous impact on their lives.
And support is needed. People have to support you. They have to support this program. It's really made a difference in the lives of my sons.
That's the beauty of it all. When you think about a program like Crew and being able to have the resources to implement it, that then you are changing not only a young person's life, but also their family.
I want people to have, parents to have, families to have that experience with their children.
Right.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Dana Cockrell, and I'm here with my co-chairs, Tammy Fincher and Holly Stiles. Thank you all for your support this year for this year's virtual Person Passion. Without your support, our program would not be a success.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope that you are at home. If you are at home, that you are enjoying the cookies that we all missed out on last year. If you are a host at home table captain today, thank you so much. If you are in your car or at work, we hope that you've learned something new today that maybe you didn't previously know about the YW and about our programs that we offer. I'd like to speak just for a minute about why the YW is so important to me and why the three of us have continued to not only meet at the YW, but stay at the YW. You saw Megan's mom's piece, and you saw her mention a couple of times in there that prevention of domestic violence is key for her and key in moving forward. And that struck a chord with me because as a mom of 3 sons, I feel like prevention can take place now as we talk about dating relationships, respect, and boundaries. And so that struck a chord with me just because I think that prevention starts early, and it starts at home, and it starts by setting good examples. It also begins with the programs that are offered at the YW. We offer programs in schools to talk about dating and, again, what is appropriate and what is not. But in addition to that, one of the many reasons that I continue to support the YW is because we offer, as you all know, affordable housing to people that need help. We offer services for people that are fleeing domestic violence situations. We offer childcare for the working poor and for the homeless population. So the services that are offered here are not just domestic violence services. We make such an impact in Birmingham that this is an organization, a nonprofit, that I am so proud to be a part of and that my husband and I have supported for 16 years. And I know that we all met through the junior board, and we all know how important these programs are. But I hope today that everybody watching knows that the YW offers so much to this community.
Yes, I agree with Holly. The YWCA programs are so important. And one of the things that I really appreciate about the Y is the reinvestment into the community. I am a product of Woodlawn High School, and so the Y Woodlawn was so important for us. I grew up on Georgia Road, so the homes that are being built now by the Y is just so vital to the community, and it's rebuilding the community. So that's why it's important. And so, hey, please donate. Donate today. Donate to my table, Tammy Fincher.
Here we go.
But I do want to give a shout out to our junior board. They have rocked it today for raising over $5,000. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's because that's a transition, because the junior board becomes us. We're on the big board.
Yes.
And as we talk about what we do with the YW and why we support, I support for all the same reasons you all do, but more importantly, I support the YW because of the voice they lend in the changes and advocacy for social justice. When my mom was 8, she told me about when she went to a doctor's office and she had to ask for the colored restroom. That was in the late 50s. Then you roll forward, when she got married 50 years ago, she could not have her own checking account unless my dad was on it. So here I sit today, with the two of you ladies, co-chairing the largest fundraising event for the YWCA of Central Alabama, living the prime example of the YW's mission at work.
Last year, when Person Passion went virtual, we could not have imagined that we would be right back here again in 2021. But yet here we are. And as we continue to pivot, keeping the health and safety of our staff, of all of you, and of the people that we serve at the forefront, we know that the families that we serve are our top priority. And we're so grateful to you for joining us today and continuing to pivot with us to ensure that no matter what, the YW is able to continue working to eliminate racism and empower women. As you've heard and as you've seen today, our services are more important now than ever. And we want to make sure that we aren't just providing services to women and children in need, but that we are providing opportunities for them to move in, through, and out of our services. You heard many times today that when people feel forgotten or unsupported, they know that the YW without fail will be here for them. And your support makes that happen. You see, you aren't just supporting an organization, you are making a difference in the lives of people in our community, right here. You are making sure that women are safe from harm, that children, no matter their start in life, have quality childcare and early learning experiences. You are making sure that families have affordable housing and resources to enter or re-enter the workforce. And that teens during the summer have ways to grow and to continue to learn. No one, no matter their circumstance, should ever feel forgotten. Your passion gives us energy, and for that we thank you. You know, LaTanya said it best in her video. The YW doesn't forget about the people that it serves. We are always here for them because you are always here for us. We want you to continue to please give through the Swell site, and we hope to see you all in person real soon. Take care, and thank you so much for being here.